Women standing on the shoulders of giants.
Rolling.
She is leading by example.
From Sarah, I learned a lot about writing your own story. With Yi Shin, I mentor her because we're both women in a male-dominated industry.
She is more than a boss.
Kim has shown me that it is possible to do well and still have a life outside of work. With Cheryl, it goes beyond just talking about work all the time.
She is overcoming barriers.
Liangla really made me feel like I was not alone. Deirdre, we really did explore what we really wanted to do in life.
And she is driving change.
Liyana, she's such an expert. I have huge respect for her. Zafirah has done really interesting, really great work with us supporting women in tech.
Okay, just clap.
I clap?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yay.
Clap loud.
One side.
Hi, I'm Nurul Hussain. I'm the founder of the Cadet Project. I also am a career consultant, and I am going to be a first-time mom, which is very exciting. So I spent quite a lot of my adult life abroad. I did 4 years undergrad, then I worked 2 years in Japan. Came back to Singapore, did my MBA at SMU, and then had the opportunity during my MBA to pitch for a social impact idea as part of the Rizwan Zafir Community Award at Mendaki. When I pitched, I looked at what other people in other countries were doing, and I was very inspired by Black Girls Code. They do a lot of stuff specifically around coding, long-term programs. So I said, well, in Singapore, we don't have anything like this yet. How about I think about a way that we can do this in Singapore to look at underrepresented communities and getting us into tech? Why is representation important to me? Why is inclusion important to me? I think that that's never not been important to me as a woman who's often underrepresented. And the tech industry is the industry that I feel has the most level playing field. It's not perfect, but at any stage of where you're at and whatever your interests are, there is a way to navigate that and to build up your skill set. The Cadet Project was founded in December 2015, and we are a non-profit initiative that is trying to get more minority Muslim women into tech for long-term economic success. The Cadet Project is made up of volunteers who all have their own jobs. We play a very complementary role to the other organizations like Tech Ladies, like Girls in Tech. And I think that everyone is in this space because we're all trying to fix something in our different ways. There's definitely a lot more that can be done in terms of creating more inclusive and safe spaces for women. And a lot of that is just making sure that people are looking at who is not here and how do we make it easier for them to show up. What I really believe in is that talent and intelligence are equally distributed among all populations, among all peoples, but what's not equally distributed is access and opportunity. So what we've tried to do is redistribute some of this access and opportunity to the women who should have access to more of it. All the women we met were very clear on what is it that they wanted. Women know we got work, we got things that we want to do, we've got responsibilities, but we want to do a data science class and get to the next level at work. We want to provide them the platforms and the pathways to help them do that. So when we started, we were able to work with a lot of different smaller groups and smaller organizations to provide one-off workshops and just explore different topics in tech. We spent a lot of time in our early years trying to fight for being accepted as a group, trying to be able to say, well, this is important, please support us. In 2018, we worked basically out of money already. So when Facebook was like, we'll fund you, we'll do these things. And I was like, y'all really chose me? It was the first time that an international organization had said, well, we believe that your work is good enough, meaningful enough, and we want to fund you and we want to train you. That gave us the capacity to actually run a lot of projects we'd only imagined in the past. Then COVID happened, a lot of our projects couldn't run. And as we were running out of money again, Zendesk calls. They said, well, as part of our Zendesk Good Neighbor Foundation, we want to give you some funding. I finally got someone on Zoom to talk to, and she was like, this is real. So then I cried, and then she cried, and then I told my team, and then we all cried. So it was very dehydrating. There's been historically very limited definitions on what success looks like. For a lot of underrepresented women, it's not just that we don't see people who look like us as being successful. It's that often our success isn't really imagined by a lot of the people around us. So we have to imagine it for ourselves. And one of the projects that we did in 2019 was to create a set of stock photos on Shutterstock called Success Looks Like This that really reimagined what tech would look like if it was run by underrepresented women. And that to us was very powerful at that time because we didn't have a lot of stock photos, not just in Singapore, but around the world, that showed what diverse women looking in tech would be like. I'm a community builder in tech, but I am not a technical person. And that's an aspect of tech that I think doesn't get recognized enough. That tech should not just be the technical aspects. It shouldn't just be coding. It shouldn't just be programming. It should also include things like community development, social media management. And I think for us to be able to manage that and to accept that will be a lot more useful than actually gatekeeping who gets to be in the tech industry. We decided that we wouldn't let what was the prevailing bias of who belonged in tech determine who we wanted to see in tech. I'm definitely not a perfect leader, and I recognize that. But I really am trying and figuring out how do I do that and run Kudet in the best way that I can. Everyone on my team, right, they're much more talented, much more interesting than me. My team is far superior, and that's been a big reason why we've succeeded. And someone like Liyana, she's a good example of that. So I've known Liyana since secondary school. We got back in touch after I had started the Kodak project. We ran Singapore's first women-only hackathon in 2018.
Because I've been doing hackathons before and I'm in the tech industry, right? So I'm always trying to drive towards people actually developing or coding solutions. But I think Nurul pointed out that in our community, we need to actually have a space where people who are not super technically proficient yet, to give them a space where they can come together and do up ideas.
Yeah, I think we had different ideas, and I think that was very helpful also.
Nurul is very clear about the objectives of what she wants to achieve with the Kodak project. And also I really appreciate the fact that you're able to corral all the volunteers together.
Everyone has a lot more skills. Yeah. I think I just brought enthusiasm.
That's how a leader should be, right? To know that you are definitely not going to be the one that's best at everything, and knowing how to pull together a group that can work together based on their strengths. I think that's what a good leader does.
I feel like what's been important to me is to see individuals grow and to do well, whether it's within my team or part of the wider Kodak community, and to see each of their successes as being successes that they have deserved for the longest time, but that they finally get to achieve. Do I know if any part of this is because of me or not? I don't. But I happen to be here as part of their journey, and that's something that I'm grateful for. This is the Success Looks Like This exhibition. We've been really working, and I say we, but especially these two, Liyana and Atika. Today we're just kind of like figuring out how it's gonna look, like what it's gonna be like. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super thankful for Liyana for joining Kodak. Her mentorship and her guidance is so valuable because her depth of knowledge and expertise is so clearly obvious.
Hi, my name is Liyana Fauzi. I am a lead product manager in GovTech, and with the Codec project, I lead a funding and mentoring program. So sometime in 2015, Nurul had posted about an idea for a project relating to helping more women get into technology careers. I reached out to her because as a woman in tech myself, I felt that it was an important cause. In secondary school, I remember I was in a computer club. And back in my day, that time, we used to do blogs. So I had my own personal blog. So when I was doing the blog, I really wanted my blog to look good. So then I signed up for HTML and JavaScript classes over the school holidays. One thing that got me into tech very early on. So when it came to university, I decided to sign up for an undergrad degree in business with a specialization in IT. I enjoyed both and I wanted to marry the two together. Back then, there were definitely more males than females in class. However, the idea about women in tech and all that wasn't something that was spoken about very much, unlike it is today. A few years ago, GovTech nominated me for a scholarship to do a technology MBA in NYU Stern. So in my MBA experience, I had the opportunity to be part of the tech community there, where people were open and willing to share what their experiences were. And this is something that I want to carry forward, both in my personal capacity and in my work capacity. I think if we need to extend, we have to make the call like Friday. Today, I'm a lead product manager for the SG Tech Stack in GovTech. So I work with a team of product managers to actually build and roll out tools that developers can use to check and run tests on their code. And then that code eventually gets translated into an application that you use today. I am the Vice President of the Women in GovTech group. And my vision is really to work with my team members to bring awareness to diversity matters, run programs such as the workshops, career conversations, as well as a mentoring program for women who want to thrive in the tech industry, so that we can have very open and candid conversations about what it means to be a woman in tech. A recent study by a local university actually shared that 58% of women that were taking STEM-related courses end up in STEM-related roles, and in comparison to the 75% of men that do, this was quite a jarring number. What we can do to help women is to look at some of the structural issues in the workplace and change certain policies so that more women can sustain a career in tech. I am the lead for Codec Cares, which is a mentoring and funding program in the Codec project. We provide these women with some funding to help them out with their expenses, and we also run a mentoring program where we match some of these ladies or women with mentors from the industry. So we have girls that are studying data science, software engineering, or UX design. Many of them are young students, but I think we also have some mid-career switchers, people trying to pivot into a tech role. I think without Nurul, a lot of these things wouldn't have happened. Because she is a very good cheerleader in terms of saying, let's do it, let's just go for it. Nurul and I complement each other very well. So she's very good at understanding what people are thinking, how to approach them. Whereas I think I come more from the tech knowledge perspective, and I can kind of give her some feedback on, what I think is needed, which area should we focus more on. I'm proud. I'm really proud of how she's been able to manage the team, where she kind of leverages on their strengths, or she will notice that somebody needs help and she'll be like, oh, maybe this other person can also help you. And I think that's how she's been able to grow the team and why people have stayed on.
Oh yes, I clap. Thank you. I love this part. Zafirah was doing a lot of really interesting things. She was interested in design and art, and that was cool. And she did photography as well. Mm-hmm. So then when we were doing the first Codec Hackathon in 2018, we really needed support for things like photography. And I was like, well, I already know Zafirah. Let me ask her if she's interested.
And then I think working through that, she realized that, oh, actually, you are good at design and you can help me a bit more. So she asked me to help out with the event itself, and that's kind of where I met the rest of the Codec team. It was a bit intimidating because to me, everyone seemed so professional. Nurul really gave me comfort in knowing that everyone is in this together and everyone is kind of learning along the way. So I think through that type of like environment, it made me more comfortable to contribute more to the team.
Having someone like Zafirah on board helps us understand the needs of designers. A very early feedback that I got was like, nobody understands what Nurul wants.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, okay, I'm very sorry. But I think that like Zafirah has really helped me clarify that and being actually what do I want and how do I express it in a better way. So that's been really useful for me, yeah.
Yeah, usually Nurul is like, I want this to be pink but not so pink.
Yeah.
But, like, I want it to be vibrant. So I translate that to like how a designer would think.
Yeah. Because clearly I don't know that part.
I think with Nurul, we are really able to like work closer as a team. You kind of bring us together to like collaborate. So I think seeing how you handle it and like how you are able to manage everyone's growth and also like what they want to do in the future, it's been really nice to learn from you as a leader.
Zafirah has been a big part of our branding and our design and our social media presence because she's done really, really interesting, really great work with us. I love seeing that, and I think that seeing her grow in confidence as well has been really powerful.
Clap for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Zafirah Zaharudin. I work as a PR coordinator, and at the Kodak project, I'm the brand lead. I remember like when I was a kid, I had this like table that I would hide under whenever my parents were trying to find me to do homework, and I would draw under the table. So like there's a bunch of doodles there. And I think from there, my interest in art grew, and I took O-level art and N-level art as well. Graduating from secondary school, I applied to industrial design because I knew I wanted to do something along the lines of architecture or product design. So after I graduated from poly, I was working as a freelance graphic designer, and Nurul actually reached out to me to help her with the Kodak project. That was an impactful point in my life because before that, I never really worked with a lot of minority women. And being in an environment where everyone was so enthusiastic to help out each other and interested to learn about technology, I think Nurul brought out that spark in me that was always a bit hesitant in taking new opportunities. And she showed me that helping others or helping the community is not as daunting as I'm setting up in my head. One of the moments that I recall was when I was given the leadership role in leading the Success Looks Like This initiative in 2019. I found myself doubting whether I can do it because this was the first official leadership position that I was ever given in my life. And I think it was a lot of hesitation on my part because I felt like, oh, what if I can't do this properly, or what if I do this wrongly? And I think Nurul really helped me to see that like actually making mistakes is fine. As long as you communicate those mistakes with your team, you're able to bounce back easier. Nurul saw my passion to help others, and I'm grateful that she saw my potential even before I did. Even at work, there are so many people that I can collaborate with to make a difference.
I'm not sure if we'll collect enough devices, but the 40 encouragement packs will still stay. Okay. Yeah.
Right now, the initiative that we're spearheading is the Devices Drive. It's a collection drive to collect pre-loved devices from our company and give them to low-income families in Singapore. And we mainly work with other minority-led organizations like Tech Do Good and Project Hills to really bring this vision to life. And I think having the guidance from Nurul has helped me to create this narrative that you can do more even if you just have a small idea. All it takes is just to reach out to other people that have that same thinking to create this change together.
I'm really happy that in Kodak we've got such a range of people, and we've got people like Zafirah, and just seeing them change over their last few experiences, opportunities has been really nice. I don't know if I'm a mentor because I think that that's a very loaded word. I just really hope that if I am, I'm a good one. I really hope what they see is that they have the right to define what success looks like for themselves, and that they have the right to choose that success.
Our promise as a cadet project to you is that we will try our best to be here for as long as we can.
I've seen Nurul's leadership ripple throughout the community and in how the community has really banded together to support women empowerment, especially minority women in tech, and also increase female representation overall. I think Codet, we've been here for years and we've seen how people have grown from starting their first tech certification to even now working at Google. And like to see that growth is such an important thing because we need to understand that if we are trying to empower more people, it means empowering access for everyone. For this year's Success Look Like This project, we are profiling 50 minority women that are in different careers in tech. I was able to meet some of these people that were featured, and it's really inspiring to hear the stories.
Your diversity is a source of strength, as it has enabled each of you to bring your unique viewpoints into the tech industry.
Be good at what you do, hone your craft, and that's something that nobody can ever take away from you. I think it's important not to let anyone use your gender to hold you back, and more importantly, don't let you hold yourself back.
More needs to be done to make sure everyone starts on an equal footing in tech. I think it's always important for us as a community to show our support because as a community we can achieve so much more when we strive to do better together.
We did it! Congratulations! Yes!
There are so many women who I feel have not had enough examples of success, enough help to get to the next step. I hope they get the kind of success that is unimaginable to them at the moment and they just kind of go for it.